Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan battle video. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at, basically, to cut a long story short, a little bit of a stone guide as to part 1 of the anniversary. So for players who don't know, obviously the anniversary is well underway. I think for the most part, definitely there's a huge incentive to players participating in the events. I'm going to break the guide into 2 sections. We're going to start with the new content that came out, and then we're going to talk about the existing content that players can take advantage of. Please be aware that veteran players will have less stones to farm than new players. That's just a consistent. So obviously the starting point, you will just see me flash on the screen, but story events. You've got the Dragon Ball Z story, you've got the Dragon Ball story, the GT story, the Super story, and the revamped Dragon Ball GT Baby Saga story. Between all of these, there is 63 stones to earn, and it requires you simply to just run the stages and clear missions, which are very simple. So these are a huge source of stones. 63 as a whole multi. Obviously, understandably, some players don't like doing these, but realistically, you want to do them. I like them personally. I think they're cool, just because they combine cutscenes and assets and stuff that I find interesting the first time watching around. But then also, obviously, the rewards are great. We also have the Dokkan Battle. The Dokkan Battle, 2 new stages. Well, 1 new stage, sorry, 2 stones. So, quick 2 stones there, bringing us up to 65 pretty much. From there on, things get a bit diverse. So, I think your first point of call, right now at least, is the Super EZAs. I think the Super EZAs, obviously don't drop a lot of stones. So we do have to keep that in mind. But the Super EZAs do at least give you 3 stones each. So it's another 6 stones. It's not anything crazy, but it is something. There will be EZAs for part 2 or a little bit later in part 1. So keep an eye out for those. We'll talk about all the EZAs in general. But yeah, EZAs, Super EZAs. Look, unfortunately, Super EZAs don't drop as much as an EZA, or Extreme Z Battle. But yeah. Then Ultimate Clash. This is going to be the hardest one, but it's the biggest source of stones. 42 stones for you if you complete Ultimate Clash. Very, very, very good. Incredibly good, honestly. So, yeah, really, really, really solid. It's hard, for sure, but with the new units, with Super EZAs, with all those sort of things, I think you'll find that you should have a decent shot at clearing it. On top of that, there's also some missions. Mainly, you have the Sprite missions. These require you to use specific units. You'll get about 7 for these. You also have some panel missions that you can complete for about 4. But then the other major missions that you can complete are the Dragon Ore missions. These will give you 5 a week. So you'll get 50 in total throughout the course of the anniversary. But what you'll be able to also get is obviously 5 regularly. So each week on a Wednesday, these will reset. Super duper big, clutch. They can come in handy to help you push you over the line. So make sure that you're clearing those Dragon Ore missions. They simply require you to play the game. So it's not like it's anything super crazy or wild, or like impossible. It just requires you to play the game, pretty much. It's not anything major. Then, we go from there. Now we're talking a little bit more about the challenge events. Most of the stones for part 1 are currently invested in the challenge events. You have the Dokkan Chronicles, which don't drop a lot of stones themselves, but drop the reward tickets, which you can exchange at the Bubba Shop for stones, 15 of them. Plus you get 1 per stage, so about 19 stones in general for this event. Then we have the Anni Battle stage, the 10th Anni revamp. We have the Supreme Magnificent Battle stages, which gives us 24. We have the Vegeta story, which gives us 23, and the Goku story, which gives us 23 as well. So we've got a lot of stones sitting in the challenges. If you count all of those up, you're looking at over 100 stones. The challenges are obviously hard though. So if you're a new player, you may not be able to complete some of these, and that's okay. You'll get yourself there. Don't panic. You'll find other easier stones elsewhere, which we'll talk about just now. But for new players, obviously the new challenge modes are the biggest sources of stones. And for me, obviously it's pretty straightforward. The only other place I can think of is obviously the warm-up coins for the anniversary. So that's obviously a huge incentive. But aside from that and the gift, there shouldn't really be any more surprises. So we got a gift for being first place rank. Obviously that is pretty good. There will be some more content closer to part 2. There will be some other things announced, like Extreme Z battles and things like that. So don't panic, there's plenty of stones to come. But right now for part 1, that's kind of the new stuff. So around about 330 stones, not including the gift. So close to 400 stones. If we take a look at the ways you can earn stones, everyone's going to hate this, but if you're a new player or you haven't been back for a while, quest mode, story events, super strike events, DB story revamps, all of these places are your number one source of stones. They are the most boring sources of stones, but they are literally going to give you thousands. If you're a new player, you're like, where can I get stones? Quest mode gives you thousands. DB story events gives you hundreds. The story events here gives you hundreds. Super strikes, hundreds. Like, there's so many stones that you can earn right now. It's actually ridiculous. So clearly, you have to consider that. On top of that, Dokkan Events. Dokkan Awakening events are a great source of stones. If you think about how many units have come out, there's like thousands of units, hundreds of Dokkan events. If each Dokkan event's got 1 or 2 stages, you do the math. If there's 100 Dokkan events and 2 stages per Dokkan event, and each stage drops 2, that's 400 stones. Minimum. It's a lot. There's way more than that. Next, we talk about Extreme Z Battle. So Extreme Z Battle, obviously all the older ones, huge incentive to do them. Massive stones here, especially if you're a returning player. On top of that as well, the Dokkan All-Stars event. I'm going to have to be doing this now. Unfortunately, I always keep this in reserve, but I really want SS3 Goku. So I'm going to have to be doing this now. And then, of course, challenge. And I'm not strictly speaking red zone. I'm talking challenges across the board. Fighting Legend Goku, Fighting Legend Goku Vegeta, SBR, ESBR, support memory events, huge. Infinite Dragon Ball History, Boss Rush. Tons and tons and tons of events that drop tons and tons and tons of stones. Find your starting point and just kind of go with it. As a new player, I highly suggest the Dokkan Boss Rush. It's the easiest. There's so many stones. It's super straightforward. Punching event, also great way to get stones. Requires you to build a new king team, but there's a ton of stones here as well. And then, of course, that's kind of it. There's a lot of stones everywhere, but one of the last places to look is Portal of Memories. You won't have a lot of keys, but you can pick up through the course of the anniversary, and there's a lot of stones here. Highly suggest you look at the story events first, as those are usually very easy and very cheap in terms of keys. Like 20 keys can result in like 14 stones, 20 stones. Then, of course, you can also look at the Z battles, the Extreme Z battles. Huge incentive there as well to do the older Extreme Z battles and grab yourself a bunch of rewards, whether it's just from clearing them or awakening units relating to them. The crossover ones are here, so those won't be available during the course of the event. So yeah, obviously it's difficult to complete without crossover units, but it is what it is. And that's it. That covers everything you need to know about stones in part 1. Wishing you all the best of luck. Hope your summons go well. And if you need any more help, you can just let me know. But for now, that is basically going to be it from me. So I will see you guys pretty much in the next one. Other than that, buy stones. That's pretty much it.